All right, so let's see how long it takes for people to find this now. All right, we got one in here. Is there sound now? Good. All right. Well, that's neat. If I get a phone call, it turns off my audio. How wonderful. Thanks, YouTube. All right. So, the question that I get all the time, the question that I'm going to probably get for forever, no matter how many times I answer it. How much can you make in this job? There's not an answer. This month is going to be different than next month. Is going to be different than last month. Your situation is going to be different than his situation, than my situation. But here are some basics. I have had weeks where I only made $600. And these are gross numbers. These are gross, not net. I've had a $600 week. I've almost cracked $8,000 in a week. So somewhere in there is your gross. And then let's talk about operating costs. Okay, well, the biggest one is fuel. How much does it cost to run the truck? Okay. Do you have a headwind? Do you have a tailwind? Do you have no wind? Is it hot? Is it cold? All of those will affect your fuel economy. What kind of camper are you pulling? How many deadhead miles do you have? Those are going to affect your fuel economy. As far as the trucks, they all get pretty close to the same fuel economy. Like, people are, oh, I get this much, blah, 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 blah. Loaded, flat ground, no wind. Everyone's going to be real close to the same fuel mileage. Your biggest factor there is going to be your gear ratio. So, great. I know that if I have no wind on flat ground and I'm just going, I'm just running flat ground and there's no wind and I got a camper behind me, I know that I'm going to burn about 65-ish, 70, something like that gallons in a day. Call it 70. I'm going to burn 70 gallons in a day. All right. So we'll just push the I believe button. That's how much fuel you're going to use. Because we're just going to pretend all those other factors don't exist. Great. Are you buying fuel in Oregon? Are you buying fuel in Pennsylvania? Are you buying fuel in Wyoming? Where are you buying your fuel? That's going to change your operating cost as well. So how much can you make in this job? Well, in a perfect situation, you can gross $30,000 in a month. It's not going to happen. I've been doing this mostly since 2019. And I think one time, I got over $20,000 in a month. That is not a common occurrence. So these are real things that you need to think about. Now, does that mean that there's no money in this job? Well, if you're incompetent and you don't know how to run a business, yes, there's no money in this job. And if that hurts your feelings, I don't care. If the shoe fits, lace it up, strap it tight, and walk on. Because there's plenty of money in this job. I have had repair after repair after repair after repair on this truck, as well as upgrade and renovation and on my house. and I'm still okay. By all means, I don't have money sitting in the bank because I'm throwing everything to fix the truck, fix the house, get ready for the move, all this stuff that I'm doing. But I'm able to do all of that. I've put thousands of dollars into my house. I've put thousands of dollars into this truck. I've got myself out from under all of the back bills where I was months behind on everything when I started this job. But you have to work for it. I see people in the lounge. Man, there's no work. Well, when's the last time you looked at the load board? When did you refresh it? Oh, it's been a couple hours. Okay. Oh, they offered me this load. I didn't want it. Okay. Hey, you want to know why you're not making money in this job? Again, if anything I'm saying hurts your feelings, great. This is probably not the right career for you. It's a wonderful career, but you have to be determined, goal-oriented, driven, and understand that there's going to be unpleasantries that you have to deal with. A couple months ago, I really didn't want to go to, I think I went to Maryland. I didn't want to do that. But guess what? It was a convenient load. It was a really convenient load. I was delivering, Texas. I think I was delivering in Texas. And guess what was right there? No, I was delivering in Nebraska and then in Texas. Brilliant. I didn't want to go to Maryland, but I did it. Yes, you can sleep in the camper that you haul until the company that you're working for finds out you did that. Then you won't be hauling any campers. Oh, they just opened Cheyenne to Laramie? That's neat. Maybe I'll head that way or something. I don't know. I just did a reset in Iowa. It was -11 the whole time I was there. Idled my truck. I hate idling the truck. And then I get to Wyoming and it's closed. I just want to deliver this thing. I just want to deliver it. I got stuff to do. By the way, if anyone wants to move to Idaho, I have a great house for sale. No, Bryce, you couldn't. I'm 6 foot and I barely fit back there. I'm touching glass on both sides. Now, what you could do, find one of those cabin chassis trucks that someone's put a sleeper on. You'd probably fit in that just fine. And then you just do multi-haul. All right, let's get some comments because I've been ranting. Oh, wait, no, I still have more ranting. More ranting. All right, so fuel. We've established you're going to be somewhere between $200 and $400 a day in fuel, depending on wind and weather and what you're hauling and the terrain where you're hauling and where you're buying your diesel. Okay, great. Somewhere between $200 and $400. So you're making between $600 and $8,000 a week. You're going to spend between $200 and $400 a day on diesel. You got to eat. Even if you go on the cheap end, you're still $30. On the low end, you're going to be on $30. You're probably closer to $50 to eat all day. Unless you're like me and typically only eat one meal a day. Then, you get away with a little bit less. Although the last couple weeks I've been eating more. Anyway, not important. So, middle of the fuel, 3, 6, 9. That's $1,800 in diesel. So you have between $600 and $8,000 a week. And then just meeting in the middle, $1,800 in diesel, right, for the week. And that's if you ran all 6 days. Obviously, the day that I only made $600, I didn't run all 6 days. I ran one. But there was no work, so that's all I got to run. But, call it $250 for an average for diesel per day. Okay, so the day that I grossed $600, I made $350. Worked all day. Still not bad. Now, what's your insurance? Well, again, that's a variable. This truck, now that I lowered it down to what the actual value is, because it doesn't work as advertised, they tell you whatever you agree on, that's what we'll insure the truck for. Sure. But if it's a $8,000 truck and you insure it for $16, they're going to give you $8. They don't portray it that way when you're signing your policy and getting things going. They make it sound like whatever you say is what we're going to insure the truck for. So I had this truck insured at $16,000 because that would get me into a new truck if something were to happen. So now that I lowered it down, I'm paying like $210 a month. I have to go look at my statement, but I think it's like $210, $220. I don't remember. Okay, right. But when I had the Streetwalker, I had it at $60,000 because that's what it retailed for. That was Blue Book value. Now I was paying almost $500 a month for that. So your insurance is going to be variable. Truck payments. This truck, $0. Streetwalker, $1,700. I've seen people over $2,000. In fact, I know a guy that's paying over $4,000 for his truck payment and his insurance every month. Granted, he's got a cabin chassis truck, the long stretched frame, and in the purchase, he got them to throw in a generator and an auxiliary fuel tank and a Roadmaster sleeper and the fifth wheel hit. Like, he financed the entire ready to haul campers with a flatbed. So, he probably $180,000 on this truck. But there you go. So your food, $20 to $60 a day. If you're really bougie, $90 a day. Your fuel, between $200 and $400 a day. Your insurance, between $200 and infinity a month. Your truck payment, between $0 and $4,000 a month. Your income, $600 to $8,000 a week. You see why I keep saying there's not an answer to how much you can make in this job? You can make $30,000. You're not going to. And then it's, how hard do you want to run? Do you want to go out like I used to, and I would leave and not go home for 3 months, and I just ran, and the instant my 10 hours was up, I was rolling. The instant my 34 hours was up, I was rolling. I never sat for longer than 10 hours or 34 hours, ever. Didn't happen. I didn't care. 1 o'clock in the morning, start the truck, we're going. Or you want to run like I do now. I get up when I get up. I run till I don't feel like running anymore. No, that's a lie. I pretty well always burn out my entire 11. But I get up when I want to get up. And if I want to be home, I be home. Granted, my want to be home has been because I have things that I have to do. I've had very little, very, very, very little. I'm just taking a day off. Like I've said several times in my videos, I'm ready to go back to work to get a vacation from my vacation because I'm working way harder at home than I am on the road. But that's just my current situation right now. That's not my everyday thing. But there's not an answer to how much you can make in this job. And I'm sorry if that upsets you. I can't give you an answer because there's far too many variables. All right, Now the rant's over. Let's catch up on some comments. Seth has the same problem. I don't remember what we were talking about when... Oh, with the phone call and the audio killing. There you go. It depends on how hard you want to run and the lows are changing. Yep. Hey, Dozer. Never-ending roller coaster. Yeah, there's ups, there's downs, there's ups, there's downs. Redneck woman, hey, what's going on? Those are the guys with 30-mile-an-hour tailwind downhill. But the other guy, yep, exactly. Can you sleep in the... Nope, you can't do that. Smash the like button. How much can you make of this job? Just kidding. Ha ha ha. Bummer. Do you sleep in the truck? You fit. I'm 6'9". We covered that. If you have a crew cab, take the passenger seat. Actually, that's a real possibility. I've considered doing that. Taking the passenger seat out and running the bed front to back instead of side to side. I've really considered doing that. Chris, what are you doing up so early? We're headed to New York to pick up a truck. I'm sorry. I apologize you have to go to New York. That is terrible for you. Not you, Chris James. The other Chris, just above you. This one's going to Idaho. This is my go home. Oh, but when I call you at 11:30, you yell at me because I don't know if you're awake. Dick. Chris James, right there where your thing is on my screen. The other Chris is the one that's been in like a dozen of my videos, or more. My maybe soon neighbor. Yeah, the load board picked up last week and it hasn't dropped off, and that is good. That's really good. Oh.